This is what I don't like about the Warriors, y'all. They should have just let Jonathan Kuminga go. Like, so they get beat by the defending champions. I mean, they beating everybody. I mean, they 12-1. And the one game that they lost to the Blazers, they was beating them by 20 points and got bored. And the Blazers came back and took the win from them. And they still only lost by 2. They could be undefeated right now. But nonetheless, man, these dudes rocking and rolling, ready to go. They got the best player in the league. They're playing lights out defense. Offense is clicking. You know, they got a deep bench. I mean, they're just the champs, man. So I'm like, dude, if you lose by 30 to OKC and you the Warriors, okay, you lost by 30. Back to the drawing board. But what I didn't like about it is after the game, they asked Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler about what they think the issue is, man. And I just didn't like the fact we knew you was talking about Kuminga. How they threw him on the bus, we knew we was talking about Kuminga. This is what they said.
Last season, once Jimmy got here and what's going on right now?
I think everybody was committed to winning and doing that any way possible. And right now, it doesn't feel that way.
Personal agenda type stuff, or like, you know, I mean, I guess how would you kind
of? I think everyone has a personal agenda in this league, but you have to make those personal agenda work in the team confines. And if it doesn't work, then you kind of got to get rid of your agenda, or eventually the agenda is the cause of someone getting rid of you. And so, you know, I think you don't want a team with no personal agendas, because a goal is an agenda, you know? And so you got to have some type of personal agenda. But like I said, you got your personal agenda must fit into the confines of the team.
So Draymond said, we ain't playing right. We you know, we got whooped like that because people, you know, we're not playing winning basketball because people got personal agendas, or people not playing team ball, basically. And that's the thing that they kept saying about Jonathan Kuminga last year and year before last, when his minutes was going down. It was like, oh man, he want to score, and it's not about you, it's about 30, it's about Steph, and all. I mean, all that is true. But Steph is old, and some nights he not gonna have it, and some nights he's gonna get banged up and injured, and you're gonna wish you unleash someone like Kuminga. They keep trying to tame him and hold him back, because the more he feels good about himself, the more shots he take, then that's less shots that Steph take. I guess that's what they think. They really want everything to revolve around Steph. That's their offense, and there's no room for Kuminga to want to do more. They really want Kuminga to buy into whatever Kevon Looney and whatever Draymond Green does. The guys that they have, you know, basically said is going to score is Jimmy and Steph, and then everyone else gets whatever falls, you know, off the table and get scraps and or whatever the case may be. That's how they want to play. Set screens, rebound, play defense, pass to 30, and you know, you can get buckets, you know, just how you get buckets. Right now, he's averaging about 15. I don't have no problem with Kuminga, but they just crapped on him. Right? They crapped on him. Then they asked Jimmy Butler the same question.
He thinks between the way you guys finished last year and now is that everybody was committed to winning in any way possible last year, and it doesn't feel that way now. Do you feel that way?
I think he's, you know, partly correct. We just got to get back to doing whatever it takes to win. Everybody will have to sacrifice something. I can't tell you what that sacrifice might be for every individual. It may be different for every individual every single night. But it's got to get back to winning is the main thing, the only thing. And it's going to be the collective of the group to figure out what is needed to win every single night.
So Jimmy Butler pretty much said the same thing. I'm like, man, come on. We know you're talking about Kuminga. Then Steve Kerr got interviewed and he's talking about, we gotta find a lineup that works and we gotta shake some things up. And guess what they shook up? Jonathan Kuminga was not in the starting lineup last night. And he barely got more than 10 minutes. He got like 12 minutes last night. So they pretty much took him out of it. They're punishing him because he's not taming himself enough to play like a robot and just let Steph, do everything. And they feel like that's their winning formula, and that's what got them rings. Really, Steph and Clay being in their prime and catching lightning in the bottle and being unbelievable, playing at MVP level for an entire season, not a stretch of 10 games, you up and down a little bit because you old, you ain't got the legs, but then you pop back up with 40. Like, you had 11 points the other day, dog. Don't act like it's all Kuminga that was the issue. You had 11 points. You couldn't hit nothing either. Then you pop up the game after that, and now you got 44. Okay, great. Or 46, whatever. Great. But since you're not in your prime, you can't do that every single game. You might want to find a young buck that you can use to get you 15 points consistently, and every now and then jump up and get you 30. You might want to lean into that. Steve Kerr might want to have a system where, all right, yeah, it's 30 we trust, but is there anybody else we can trust other than Jimmy Butler in 30? Like, Kuminga want to hoop. Can y'all let him hoop? Y'all done pulled this man out of the starting lineup almost like you punish him. And this dude he was about to leave. Y'all kept asking him to stay. We not go sign Al Horford and Steph Curry until we figure out what was going on with Kuminga's contract. And y'all wanted this man to stay. Y'all wanted him to stay just so he can come out and get benched again. And Draymond go in the press and threaten that he's going to get traded. Either basically he said what LeBron said to Kevin Love, either shape a fit in or fit out in public. They basically took, and it's coming from Steve Kerr on down. They've all, like, it's all everybody against him. And the whole time Steph Curry probably ain't said nothing. He just let Kerr and Draymond do all the talking for him. And Steph Curry he probably talked to Draymond Green one-on-one and be like, yeah, man, Kuminga, man, he took too many shots, man. He looked me off one time, man. And then Draymond, man, blah, 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 blah. Man, you gotta do it the 30 way. And then Steve Kerr, you gotta do it. Like, why say that in public, man? I hate these dudes so much, man. Like, I really dislike them after how they treated KD, how they treated Jordan Poole. I hate the way they treat their players, man. I hate the way they did Clay. Like, these dudes are despicable, dog. They're despicable. You got this man to sign with y'all for less money than what he could have got, trying to buy into this team concept just so you can 10 games in, bench him, and listen to Draymond Green say that if you either go fit in or you go get traded. You go be the cause of somebody getting rid of you. Get rid of your personal agenda, or your personal agenda is going to be the cause of somebody getting rid of you. That's speaking directly to Kuminga, because there ain't nobody else on that roster worth trading. Don't nobody want no daggone Pop Minsky. Don't nobody want no Quentin Post. Don't nobody want Moody. Don't nobody want GP2. There's nobody else on there that's worth trading except Kuminga. We know exactly who you're talking to. And I hate that for him, man. Now he's benched. I got to listen to my teammates say that Steph, once again, is quiet, ain't said shit. Just like when Draymond said, we don't need you, KD. We won without you. You a bitch. Steph Curry's leadership nowhere to be found. You didn't check Draymond on that. You didn't come to KD to support him on that. You didn't do none of that. You just quiet. And we know the reason why you quiet, because Draymond says what you thinking too, probably. You're not man enough to say it. That's why people questioning his leadership. So once again, Draymond out there saying whatever about Kuminga. What does Steph go say? That junk is insane, dog. Like that's a horrible work environment for a young kid like that. A young man. Right? So yeah, it's crazy, but they got the win. Now they feel like, oh man, we found the right formula. Keep Kuminga on the bench, right? It's your fault, Kuminga. But dude, You forgetting you played the defending champ. They just beat the Lakers by 32 as well. Y'all just can't stack up with the defending champs. You think now that Kuminga's on the bench and you put 2 shooters on the floor with Moody and the rookie, the rookie, I like him a lot. Number 3, I like him. He had a 30-point game earlier this season. But you think now that you got 2 shooters in this, okay, so that's the formula now. What happens when Steph legs ain't there again and he 3 for 10 like he was against OKC? And Jimmy Butler don't want to pull the trigger on those shots like he did in the playoffs, and you had to put Kuminga in against your will after you benched him, and then he go out and get you 25, 30. You get what I'm saying? Like what? Like y'all was playing the Thunder. Y'all was playing the Thunder, dog. Phone lines are open, y'all. Call in. It was playing the Thunder, man. I just think that's weak, dog. I really do think it's weak. Them dudes get on my nerves so daggone much, man. He said Draymond is a bum talking as if he's Draymond also had the nerve to start talking about football and say Dak Prescott was a bum. Dude, are you serious? Draymond Green is just too much, dog. Yeah, Steve Kerr is trash too, man. The way he treated Jason Tatum at the Olympics. Oh, here's another thing too. So, I remember last year Draymond on his podcast was talking to Baron Davis, and OKC is on a run. They winning ball games and stuff like that. SGA's playing phenomenal. And see, Draymond Green thinks that he can play mind games with young teams. And I think he attempted to play mind games with OKC because he tried to criticize them for their post-game ritual when the player of the game getting interviewed, but the whole team is behind them and they having fun and they building camaraderie that way. They like each other. Right. I think what Draymond's saying was a team that's together, they like each other, and they playing really good basketball. They had a really good record the year before last. They got put out by the Mavericks. Mavericks go to the final, but the OKC Thunder was the better team with the better record. They just got outplayed. And he saw that and was like, ooh, we in the West with them. We got to go through them eventually. And I think he tried to throw a little salt in the game. I think he tried to throw a little salt in the game. Hey, caller, hold on real quick. Let me finish this last part. Hold on. Don't hang up.
Yes, sir.
And he tried to go on this podcast and say that they look weak when they do their post-game ritual. Listen to this.
The one thing I would say about them is there's a certain readiness when you're ready to win. And I don't care how old you are. I won my first championship in my 3rd year. Steph's 6th year, Clay's 4th year. And we used to joke around. We would pour water on a guy's head and we would pour water on a guy's head every now and then. To win. And after the game. And we would do little stuff like that every now and then. Not every time. But the one thing I see with the OKC team that is a little alarming for me is like their post games. Like 7 guys in the interview. Like there's a certain seriousness that it takes to win in this league. And there's a certain fear you have to instill in a team, in teams, in order to win. And I just don't know if they're instilling that fear in teams with all the bromance and stuff after the game. Like, bro, we all the bros, it's the homies. Like, that's cool. There's a time and a place for that. But after every time somebody's in the interview, you got 7 guys, 8 guys. Then you got the same 7, 8 guys with a picture with Josh Giddey right after they play. Like, again, I'm all for having fun. Like, it's an 82-game season. You should have fun. But you also have to understand when people are looking at you to be the team and you have to understand when your moment is. And right now, I don't know if OKC understands, but their moment is now. Their moment started last year. You go out, you had that great regular season, your clock starts now. You're no longer the team that's just building through the draft. You've arrived. It is now time for you to take that next step. And I'm not sure that they quite understand everything that entails. You know, they understand the play. Them boys special. Like, they get out there.
They can hoop.
They winning.
It's another level. It's another level to. They gotta get 2 more levels to get to the championship.
Absolutely.
Right. So it's when I'm watching that and you know, I'm in your conference and we about to play in the playoffs. If I think you soft, I'm not there. There's no fear.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not anxious.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, bro, I'm going right at these dudes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, all that, like, the fun in games is fun. Like, it's dope seeing them, but there's also, like, they got to mature a little bit and become more professional so the stars can be the stars.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So that was the dumbest thing I ever heard, right? And I listen. I know the psychology of what he was trying to do, but because he's a bit of a bully like that, and he likes to play mind games and stuff like that. I get it. Now, on one end, if OKC Thunder heard that, and then they actually took heed to it and then made an adjustment and stopped doing that post game, Draymond knows they're not ready. They weak. They listening to what we saying out in the media and making changes. I can push buttons about their locker room and mess junk up and just go work. The reason why I know that's how he think is because when Memphis was up and coming, you got a young Ja Morant, you got a young Jaren Jackson Jr., you got a young Dylan Brooks, you got a young Desmond Bane, you got Steven Adams. That team was coming. And they, like, during the regular season, they used to put belt to ass on the Warriors all the time. And there was a lot of chirping. Dylan Brooks used to talk a lot of junk. So now you got someone that's a tough guy that talks trash just like Draymond do, that ain't scared of nobody. You know what I'm saying? They play tough and all that stuff. And Draymond sees that. And I remember Dylan Brooks, I think they played him and beat him and said something. And Draymond Green went on his podcast and told them he was talking about Dylan Brooks and said that he's talking like he's one of the guys. You're not Jaren Jackson Jr. or Ja Morant. You just a guy that they don't need. And he said that the championship run for Memphis doesn't begin with Dylan Brooks. He said, the championship doesn't begin with Dylan Brooks or end with Dylan Brooks. He said it actually begins after Dylan Brooks. He pretty much was saying, like, that's not the guy that's gonna help y'all get there, and they heard that same year in the playoffs. They played the Lakers in the playoffs, and I think Dylan Brooks, after the game, made that comment about LeBron James being old. And then the next game, LeBron James came out motivated and went off on Memphis, and then eventually put them out of the playoffs. And Memphis was like the crowd, not the crowd, but the fans were so pissed off at Dylan Brooks for poking the bear that it went and lingered into the summertime. And that's when they went on and didn't re-sign him. Like, they had a playoff contender, a championship contender that just didn't. They got beat by the Lakers and AD, and they was playing inspired ball, and they scapegoated and blamed Dylan Brooks mainly because they probably still remember what Draymond Green said earlier that season, where he's foolish. He's going to hurt your team, and it came true. He did hurt them because he poked the bear. But that's you wasn't supposed to get rid of him. They got rid of him because Draymond Green planted that seed. He tried to plant that same seed with OKC, and he really wanted to see if OKC was actually going to make changes based on what he said. OKC said, "Man, nah, this is what we do. You and Baron Davis can call it weak all you want to. We still doing it, and we gonna show y'all we better than y'all, right?" This is how he had to humble himself. I got you, caller. I'm coming right now, but This is how he had to humble himself after he got beat by 30 last night by the defending champs and the reigning MVP. This is what he said when they asked him about their togetherness.
Thunder's trying to do what you guys did. Win a title with young core, promising future, and then you guys built on it. Multiple championships, decade-long contention. Besides having just great players, what's the key to making sure that what you guys got done got done?
You have to like each other, which you can tell they love each other, which leads to all the magic. And you have to understand roles, which they definitely understand their roles. They got their top dog, they got their number two. Everybody come in, they know their role. From Shea, no disrespect, tonight was the first time I've seen 23. To Brooks, everyone knows their role. And that's the way it has to be in order to win in this league. And they're doing that, man. They are a well-oiled machine. They kind of just plug and play, which is, how we were during those times. So it was very interesting to watch. But, when you have a leader that has that commitment to excellence day in and day out that Shea does, everyone else has to fall in line. And they're doing that, and it's special to watch.
Everything he said, they like each other for real in real life, and you have to have that and all this. Everything he described would never have happened if they wasn't building camaraderie the way they do. That whole bromance that he was criticizing last season, that is the reason why they're that tight now and they can play like that. And he said that's what we used to have. When it stopped, when Golden State didn't have that anymore? When he punched Draymond, when he punched Jordan Poole. That split the locker room, and that locker room haven't been put back together ever since. And they keep trying to get rid of people and add new people in to try to fix that. But you can't fix that locker room. Draymond is an issue. They're hanging their hats on old guys. Steph is old. Draymond is old. Like they're trying to run that same old system. That shit is not going to work. And you brought in Jimmy Butler, black ass, thinking that was going to fix something. And Al Horford, old ass. And y'all just old. And y'all 2 games above 500, and y'all blaming Kuminga for it. And he the youngest, most legit dude that y'all got, really. All right, caller, what's your thoughts, man?
Hey, thank you for taking my call, Mel. Well, before I get started, I just want to ask you this, because I've noticed that, and I said this a while back, even when the dynasty was going, that something was wrong with that locker room. That locker room is not good, and the only reason why you don't see the cracks because they were winning at the time. Once they hit adversity, I think the cracks are going to show, and it did. And the reason why I said that is because even while they were winning, Klay Thompson did not look happy, and that was like before he got injured. Like he did not look happy, and I can see like there were times that Steph Curry was going out his way to make sure he got his touches. Because back then it was a time he didn't look happy, and I was told I was tripping. But before I go, I just want to ask you that: do you see that, or did you see that back then when they were going through their run?
So this is what I think was going on the last season that Kevin Durant was there. Kevin Durant was in his contract year. And so was Draymond. Kevin Durant never told Steph, Klay, Steve Kerr, Bob Myers, Draymond. He never told nobody from the Warriors what he planned on doing at the end of the season. He told them, let's just get this last ring, and then we'll cross that bridge when we get to it this summer. Here's the issue, though. Draymond Green was expecting a huge payday. right? This was going to be his first huge contract. And he knew, just like how Kuminga, the way Golden State handles things, hey man, we'll sign everybody else once we get the big fish. The big fish was, let's get Kuminga done, and then we can bring in all these free agents. It was the same thing. Golden State and Bob Myers was like, everything that we do this summer is going to be based on what Kevin Durant do. If Kevin Durant comes back, we're going to give him whatever money he wants. And the only thing that Draymond is going to get after that is what's left. So Draymond knew his contract and his future in Golden State depended on KD. As a matter of fact, if KD really wanted to, he could have told Bob Myers, I'm not signing here if Draymond's still here. So Draymond knew everything depended on Kevin Durant, and he couldn't even get negotiation done until Kevin Durant did it, and Kevin Durant wasn't talking to nobody. He was waiting till the summertime, and that frustrated Draymond. That's the reason why when they had that issue when they played the Clippers, when Draymond turned the ball over and didn't pass it to KD and they got in the argument on the bench, Draymond was frustrated the whole season because of what he was waiting on Kevin Durant for. Right? That's why he was on edge with Kevin Durant. And that's why he said what he said to Kevin Durant. Right? So Kevin Durant left. Fast forward, that same thing happened with Jordan Poole. Draymond Green was getting pushed out of the Warriors offense. He barely played in the finals against the Celtics. And Jordan Poole balled out all playoffs. As a matter of fact, they didn't even have Steph Curry in the first round. Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins carried them. And as a matter of fact, in the finals, Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, and Otto Porter Jr. actually played way better than Clay and Draymond. So the writing was on the wall for Bob Myers. I'm gonna re-sign Jordan Poole, and everybody knew Jordan Poole was about to get some money, including Draymond. But guess who also was in the contract year that summer as well? Draymond. Draymond was looking for his second big payday, and he knew that Jordan Poole was going to get the money that he wanted. He knew he was going to get scraps, so he was already pissed off at Jordan Poole the same way he was pissed off at Kevin Durant. And that's why he was on edge, and that's why he swung on Jordan Poole. It was all about his money, his well-being, and his future with Golden State. He always lashes out when his back is against the wall. This dude is a freaking badger.
I remember you did a show about sensitive. That just shows that dude was just sensitive.
Correct.
Very sensitive.
Correct.
And the locker room is doing a terrible job of containing him. And I'll go back to when you were talking about MJ's Bulls when they signed Rodman. You know, Rodman was the same way. He was a hothead like that too. But the leadership in the locker room did a good job of containing that, which is what you're not seeing in Golden State. And I take that 100% from the it start with the leadership. Like they're not sitting them down.
Who's the leader in there? You think
the leader is supposed to be the head coach,
right, or the best player? It ain't neither one of them. It ain't the owner either.
Well,
so it ain't the owner. It ain't the GM. It ain't the coach. It ain't the best player. The leader is Draymond. That's the issue.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm just gonna say Draymond's the issue.
Correct.
Because Draymond's temper broke. Clay wasn't outspoken, but this is just my opinion, just based on what I see on the outside as a fan. I think the change in Clay's demeanor towards when he decided not to resign, and that was a red flag to me, because I'm like, this was the guy who was a cornerstone of your franchise, and then when it comes time for his contract year, he was adamant of not resigning, but he didn't make it vocal. He didn't make it vocally.
Well, Golden State didn't take care of him, man. They didn't prioritize him at all. They act like he was just done, and they didn't owe him no loyalty. but they felt like they owed Draymond all the loyalty. Like Draymond was almost out of the Warriors twice, dog. Like he was almost out. If KD wanted to stay, Draymond would have been gone. And the Jordan Poole situation, they at the end of the day, they chose Draymond over Jordan Poole. I don't know why, but I do know that Draymond told the story on his podcast that he got wind that he wasn't going to get his contract, and he was pissed off, and he said he didn't go to talk to Steve Kerr. He didn't go to the GM, Bob Myers. He drove to Joe Lacob's house, the owner, knocked on his front door, came in his living room, and when he left, he had his contract.
That's crazy.
And you can look that up on he told that exact story on his podcast. This dude went to the owner. This dude went to the owner and pretty much like that's what he do, because even when he was getting punished for the Jordan Poole punch, he's told the story on his podcast where he had a meeting with Adam Silver and he was in there crying and told Adam Silver that he just want to retire, trying to make somebody feel sorry for him. And Adam Silver fell for it. No, we don't want you to retire, blah, blah. Come on, dog. Like that's what he did. So he didn't say he cried to the owner, but I'm pretty sure it was something close to that. He went in there and begged and was like, you can't lose me. I don't know, whatever he said, but the owner fell for it, and he got his contract. You know what I mean? It's just too many stories. Is also another story about how he almost killed Steve Curry at halftime in the locker room. That story is out there. Like they said, the people that was in the next room said that they knew for sure that he was about to, like, it was that the shout match was that bad, and how many people was holding Draymond Green back was that he was about to beat the shit out of Steve Kerr.
That's terrible.
All this stuff is you can Google and look all this stuff up, man. All of it. He done bullet everybody in that daggone organization all the way up to the owner. When you bypassing the GM and driving to the owner, like who's done that? Jordan ain't even done that.
I don't even know. I haven't heard nobody do that. I've
never heard that, dog. I drove to the owner's house. I would have called the police and traded him the next day.
Are you out of here, bro?
That's insane, man.
But yeah, it's a problem when one of your leaders is a cancer of the locker room. It was mass when they were winning, but now that they went to a spell where they're not winning, it's showing itself. Like he can't contain his. It's he acts like a teenage girl. Like he can't control his temper, and we know the saying is when a man can't control his temper.
Correct.
But I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole.
You know what?
But
you could say he act like a teenage girl, but you know what I think it is? In a lot of cases, he act like the unattractive fat girl that goes to the club with the very pretty girl, and he's protecting her from everybody to make sure she don't go home with nobody. Like everybody who has come to Golden State, Draymond is protecting 30 like it's his treasure, and he don't want nobody else to get close to 30. He didn't want KD and Steph to have a tightness. Like he's always in the way. Every time somebody's trying to break him up from 30. He knocked the hell out of Jordan Poole. You think you about to get a contract and be the new splash brother? I'm Steph Curry's best friend.
Yeah, it's like he got a bromance thing for Steph.
Facts.
It's weird.
It is weird.
What else? What was it? I wanted to call in and talk about the three things that you focused on this topic here.
All right, let's do it.
Well, we already talked about Golden State. I think we already established the problem is Draymond. Like, the good thing about it is he's very vocal. He knows the game. He's good at getting guys in their defensive spots where they need to be. That is the good of Draymond. The bad, can't control his mouth. And and nobody has the sack to put him in his place. So it's like a rabid dog off the leash and is running around the house biting everybody.
Correct. And you paying him number 2 money to do Charles Oakley work. Like if you just here to rebound, play defense, and scare people, why are we giving you a close to a max contract?
He's not a max player anymore.
He never was.
But he's not a max player. But it's like when it comes to a cancerous locker room, you always have one person that's a scapegoat who they point the finger at instead of pointing the finger, instead of addressing the real issue. First it was Clay, then it was KD. Now it's Kuminga, and none of those three deserve the treatment that they got, and it's not being checked. And it was masked because they were winning championships. They won 4 championships, and then what did we do on the outside? We start pointing the finger at KD. You go, well, maybe see, they won without you, KD. They didn't really need you. This, that, and the third one. When that wasn't the case. So just like you said, it was just you got beat down by the defending champs who's beating everybody this year. So you just got to go to the drawing board, look at the film, see what didn't work, make your adjustments, and move on. And instead of making these, as you would say on the street, these be-in moves and try to make subliminals and calling out another grown man.
Correct.
When he's not the issue.
Correct. And I honestly think that Butler and Draymond saying it in the post game is what put it in Steve Kerr's head to make the change in the lineup. I honestly think that was their way of telling Steve Kerr to pull Kuminga out of the lineup.
And keep Steve Kerr ain't got a sack either if he gonna do that instead of spending on you the coach, you the boss of the locker room.
Yeah.
He should have stood on him like, no, he's a key figure in our offense. We need his production off the bench. We need him to go off while you guys get your rest so we can keep the momentum going. So when you go in, we didn't lose no momentum. That's what a smart coach does. You got to be able to check players, even your star player, when they out of pocket, because players get in their feelings. And you as a coach, you got to be non-biased. You got to be able to check them when they're in their feelings. Like, look, no, bro, this is what's working. We're going this route. You know, instead of listening to it and punishing the kid who ain't doing nothing wrong but trying to ball out. So they don't want to trade him. They don't. It's like,
oh no, they go. No. They want to trade him now. They want to trade him. They had to get him under contract first. They had when he came to his contract year and they couldn't come into an agreement, they was like, man, we can't let him walk for nothing. We spent the first round pick on him. We can't let him walk for nothing. We have to convince him that we go give him a fair shot if he comes back and make it work. But what they really going to do is sign him and find some excuse to say it didn't work so they can throw him on a trade block.
Or they try to sign him to a max deal so he can get as many assets back as possible. They probably do that, or they probably doing that because they know that they don't have no future for Kuminga. I think they're trying to just get him to as big a contract as they can.
No, they already signed him this summer. They signed him this summer. They had.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that was. It was a 2 year. They thought process.
I think it was a 2 year deal. They got him long enough so they can trade him at the deadline. They go trade him at the deadline. I guarantee you.
Yeah,
because what's going to happen is Golden State. They're going to be close to the 7-8 seed. They're not going to be a top 4 team in the West. They're going to be bottom half of the West. And when they realize that they can't win, they're going to be like, man, we need a trade. And Kuminga is the only asset. They're going to trade Kuminga at the deadline. Trust me.
That's the only asset they got.
They go trade Kuminga, and it might be for LeBron.
Oh, please do.
It might be for LeBron.